The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of our Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Y'all started from PBS Kids, what you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video.
Come on, boys, get loud. 'Cause when the music starts bumping, the whole place will be jumping. It's my scene, you know what I'm.
Hey y'all, it's Harriana and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you guys doing? My name is Harriana and welcome back to the pirate ship, also known as Harry Hook's pirate ship. I am the captain. You were not my first mate. I don't got no first mate because you want to know why? Bring your ear closer to the damn speaker so you can hear me clearly. Nobody's worthy of being the first babe, but hi, hello, how are you guys doing? My name is Harriana, and I like to make content based off nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. Now, this honestly was really unplanned because I am currently working on a long video about Kim Possible at the moment. But this is just something that's kind of been like pondering upon my mind, and it's just kind of like interfering a bit with my upload schedule because of how much it's like kind of weighing on me and how much I keep thinking about it, mainly because I just keep seeing this behavior be displayed on social media for like the last week, and I haven't really been online like that, as one of my New Year's resolutions has to be on the internet less, and have been working a lot. But when I will go into YouTube to, you know, have something to play on in the background when I draw, Velma is something that has been like the topic of discussion right now, and I just can't like escape it. And then y'all keep asking me how I feel about the show, and I have clearly asked y'all not to. So here I just kind of want to talk about why this is just kind of making me uncomfortable. Mainly, it's just kind of like what I plan to do this year on my channel. I really want to do more long form, drawn out content where I include the voice acting and, you know, the costume changes and all of that, and then a video like this like every other week, I'd say. So there is still going to be another video that comes later this week, is the one that I've been working on for like the last week and a half. So yeah, and please make sure you go and watch the Rainbow High video. I worked really hard on that, so please make sure you watch that. But let me go ahead and get into today's subject matter because I know what you guys are here for. And yeah, I am somebody that no longer participates in like pretty much anything. I'd say like dogpiling or anything like that. I barely keep up with new releases. Like, I'm so out of the loop of everything for the sake of my well-being, and I like that for me. I love that for me because innocence is bliss. So that is why I just don't want to show my face right now, because I look a mess trying to get this stuff done. That's why this is a picture of Kitten Moth I'm drawing, by the way. I drew her from my Style Queen zine. That should be coming out soon. I will make sure to keep you guys updated on that. But yeah, we didn't come here for that. We came here to talk about Velma today, and not really actual Velma, just kind of like the culture that surrounds it, because I really haven't been liking a lot of people's behavior surrounding this show. And it's just reminding me of something I was speaking about the other day with a few friends of mine. And after I had like talked to one of my best friends about this, who was also an Indian person, they were talking to me about how uncomfortable they're feeling. And I feel like at this time, a lot of people need to be more considerate about their word choices and the type of content they are choosing to make that is surrounding this. Because let's be fucking for real. South Asian representation is severely lacking in Western media. And I talked about this in my video about how Disney and you failed Indian people, when I talked about how none of y'all asses went out here and watched Spin, when everything y'all hate about Mindy Kaling's productions is in Spin. Now, I do have my opinions about Mindy Kaling and her work, mainly because of, like, I watched The Office. I never watched The Mindy Project. I'll be watching Never Have I Ever, even though I do have a lot of issues with that series. But I do, you know, understand the criticisms, especially when it pertains to her work and whatnot. But also, it's just kind of like, she's the only, like, really, like, she's like the most popular South Asian person that we have in Hollywood, which is like, you know, an issue. especially because of the kind of things that she chooses to put into her work, which can be problematic. And then also you have to remember that a lot of what Minnie Kaling be putting in her work, that's like her telling her story. And who am I to tell somebody they can't tell their story? But here's the deal about this. It's just kind of like very problematic, and it's a repeat of the same thing. That's why so many people were scared about Mindy Kaling getting the Velma series. Now, one thing that's just kind of getting on my damn nerves about these Velma takes is like, why can't we get original Indian characters of color? And I was like, oh no, y'all, we have original Indian characters of color. Y'all just don't pay their asses no attention. And then also, it's just kind of been like, I've been seeing so many bad takes. Like, the only videos I recommend watching about Velma that I have seen so far, I don't plan on watching anywhere else because I'm just getting kind of tired of just talking about the series in general. This is all I'm saying about it, and I won't be speaking about it ever again. But the Roundtable made 2 pretty good videos about the series, and I recommend those. Love the Roundtable, love those guys. But those are the only videos I really kind of recommend. But it's just like a lot of the stuff I've been seeing right now, it's just kind of been like kind of disgusting, I'd say. And I noticed that when it comes to YouTube, it's just always kind of like a trend to do one thing or do another. And I noticed that it's just kind of been a bit of a trend to get on the internet and just kind of dogpile on this one show. And it happens like all the time, especially when it comes to the cartoon community. Well, there'll be like one specific show that a lot of people just get on here and dogpile on, because I remember it was like this a lot for Miraculous Ladybug just as well. Like, that's like a popular show that people get on here and dogpile on, and it like racks up the views. And with me, I don't really say that I did contribute to the Miraculous Ladybug dogpiling, but really my takes were a lot different than like what a lot of other these people were out here saying. They were just like, the writing sucks, this and that and the third. But I got on here and talked about the race and the misogyny and, you know, the sexism issues and all of that jazz there, and like the relationships aspects and all that. So when it comes to something that is getting a lot of like negative criticism now, I kind of try to steer away from it, because that's just kind of not, I don't really want that surrounding me. I don't really want that to be stuck on my mind. I don't want to go back and edit it, anything like that. And I'm not really the type of person that just makes like content about stuff that just came out. Like, I used to do that, mainly because of like views and whatever. But no, I'm just not really interested in doing that. That's just not really my cup of tea. And it's just, like I say, I feel really uncomfortable right now with the way people are responding to the Velma series, mainly because it's showing a lot of people's true colors on how they feel about South Asian people and Indian people, because y'all gotta remember that not all South Asian people are Indian. That's one thing a lot of people don't seem to get, because I remember when I was in middle school, I had a teacher that was from Sri Lanka, and she had to tell us, she was like, oh no, she was like, we may look like Indian people, but we are not Indian people. We but yeah, it's just kind of like a lot of lack of education and whatnot. But we have to sit and think about how this is a group of people where the representation is really lacking. I can name countless, you know, black shows, black representation and all of that. But then when I get over to naming South Asian representation, a lot of it is not good rep. That's one thing in particular that I have noticed, is that when people are like, oh, don't watch Velma, watch this instead. And then the things that they are recommending, and mind you, I am being as respectful as possible, as I am not a South Asian person. I am an African American woman, okay? An ace African American woman. I'm being as respectful as I can. So they don't really have that much great representation. It's not really much for them to pick from. It's either they pick from the few good things that they have here, the stuff that Mindy Kaling is doing, or then they go and watch the stuff where they are just heavily stereotyped. So it's not really much for them to choose from. And as a black woman, I've noticed that like when it comes to black rep, there's a lot of issues there, but then there's also a lot of goodness there. But there is still so much to get work done with that. Like, black rep still has to come a long way. It has come a long way, but it still needs steps. when it comes to South Asian representation, there is so much work that still very much needs to be done with them. So when they get these little projects here and there, because I go and I look back I go back and look at the first projects, like the first big projects out here that did feature like, all black cast or had a black person in them. A lot of the roles weren't good. A lot of the productions weren't good either, as they were very heavily stereotyped and whatever the fuck. Especially when I think about Gone with the Wind, because I was writing about Gone with the Wind in my book that I have coming out soon. Is called No One Ruined Your Childhood. I just finished up the cover art for it tonight. As I was writing about Mammy Two Shoes, not Mammy Two Shoes, Mammy Two Shoes came from Tom and Jerry, but even like that's still a bit relevant to the subject with Mammy Two Shoes, because that was really like the first time a lot of us really saw like a black woman in a cartoon. And the rep is bad. The rep is fucking terrible. But then over the years have gone by, the rep slowly started to get better. It was still very much bad, because a lot of this good rep that y'all think comes from like the early 2000s, it's bad. It's actually not good as we sit here in this day and age. But we just took it because that's what we had. That is what we had to like identify with. And it's just kind of sucky, in my opinion, because it's just like, I feel like in this situation right here, a lot of South Asian people are being like spoke over. And I can understand why a lot of them feel really uncomfortable right now, because I feel really uncomfortable right now, because I'm getting kind of sick and tired of this discussion of people are saying that like people of color can't be racist. And I was like, that is absolutely false, because I'm very vocal about how I am quick to call out non-black people of color about their anti-blackness towards black people, especially when it comes to non-black Latins and Asian people and South Asian people and indigenous people. I'm quick to call out their anti-blackness, but also we need to address the other problem just as well, that a lot of black people think that they can get away with saying these nasty, harmful, and disgusting things to non-black people of color just as well. Because I remember there was something that was going on Twitter, and it was where that "I know it smelled crazy in there" meme came from, and it was basically a black person being racist towards an Indian person, and then that spiraled into like Indian people being racist towards black people, and it was just a lot of chaos in that. I wanted no part in that, but it also was like a bit of eye-opening, because it's kind of reminded me what's going on right here. And it's just clearly showing that like a lot of y'all have really shitty views when it comes to South Asian people. Like that's just the fucking truth right there, and it's not okay. And it's completely unacceptable. And a lot of y'all got to do a little bit more digging when it comes to how you view people that are not like you. Because I will admit, I'm not perfect. There's a lot of things that I've had to learn and completely understand and whatever. Because some of my first encounters that I ever had with racism in my life came from Asian people. My first encounters with racism came from Asian people before I like had racism issues with white people. And I had to sit and learn and realize that like, hey, that person is a person of color just as well. And two wrongs don't make a right. Do not think that because this person is being racist towards you, that gives you a pass to be racist towards them, because that's completely unacceptable. And it's like so much is like going on right now where people are just saying all of this horrible ass shit about the show and whatnot. But I noticed that nobody is really looking for alternatives. Like at this time, I think this is when like promote projects that have better South Asian representation in them, that are not full of stereotypes. Promote other creators, like up and coming creators that would work. Promote actors, do all of these other things that could really like help them at this time right now, because y'all constantly dogpiling on a show that features an Indian lead, something that we never see, is not going to make anything better. Like, yeah, y'all can sit here and talk about the writing, this and that and the third. I completely understand it. But it's really getting, like I said, it's absolutely disgusting how you guys are saying some of the most absolutely Unacceptable. This shit is fucking atrocious. Things about South Asian people, and it really needs to stop. Like, two wrongs don't make a right. And I'm gonna say what I said at the end of that video. I highly recommend y'all go watch Spin. Like, please, like, it's just sad. And what scared me the most with Spin is that that was a very beautiful film. I loved the movie down. Like, I think Spin is beautiful, amazing. I loved it. Great movie. And like, nobody watched it. And the reason it scared me is because it reminded me of when we were talking about how like a lot of black people don't show up and support, like, you know, their own projects and this and that and the third. Because I remember a whole bunch of like black people were saying stuff like, oh, I don't have Amazon Prime, so I can't watch Selling the Spades, but then they was on Prime watching The Boys later on. A lot of y'all had Disney Plus. Y'all can go watch Spin. A lot of y'all have the access to go and watch this movie. And the reason we need to, like, you know, step up and support these things, because if you want to call yourself an ally to the South Asian community, to the Indian community, you need to actually be there and support them for the works that are, you know, better, I'd say. Like, things that are like outside of Mindy Kaling. And then also a lot of y'all feel like as if that you can speak over them. Like, that's just something else I've noticed, but especially when it came to the documentary film called The Problem with Apu. The thing that disgusts me the most about that is that the people who made that film, that they were like got shitted on so bad for making it, and they were literally speaking up about how y'all treat them like shit, and y'all proceeded to do that when they spoke up and was like, hey, don't do that, leave us alone, that's making us uncomfortable. Like, it's just weird. And I just like, this video is not really structured or anything, it's just kind of me wanting to get my thoughts and opinions about like just how careless a lot of people don't seem they're being right now. Like, go watch Spin. Like, go out and actually support these people. If you want to say that you're an ally to the South Asian community right now, actually watch the shit that they're in that is not Mindy Kaling Productions. Actually follow the YouTube creators on here that are South Asian. Go follow Offbeat Kiki. That's my best friend. Go follow them. Okay? But actually go out and support these people. Actually support their independent products. Follow them. Like, if you say that you're an ally to the South Asian community, you need to actually be doing something with that allyship. Just saying, I support Indian people is not enough. Like, no, you actually need to be watching the things that they're in. You actually need to be following these people on social media. And you actually need to be reading their books. Like, you actually need to do your part. Just saying that you're an ally is, like, not enough when it comes to, like, the subject of entertainment. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. Go watch Spin, please. Beautiful film. And the reason, like, I'm telling y'all to go watch Spin is because if more people watch the movie, give it viewership, more people talk about it, get the word around, we are more likely to see different South Asia creators pop up in Hollywood, and they'll get more films, get more TV shows, get more cartoons, and they're not just heavily reliant on the horrible ass stereotypes or just stuff that Mindy Kaling makes. Like, all right, okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good night.